Welcome to RelyLocal Frederick Business Radio Spotlight. For the next 30 minutes, you will hear fast-paced interviews, unique perspectives, and valuable insight from real people who believe that empowering local business is everybody's business. This show is about the backbone of America, small businesses right here in and around the communities where we live, work, and play. And now, your host, Caressa Flannery, brings you RelyLocal Frederick's Business Radio Spotlight.
Hello, this is Caressa Flannery. Welcome to another segment of the RelyLocal Business Spotlight. And I'm sure a lot of people out there are wondering, what is RelyLocal? Well, a healthy community depends on a healthy economy, and both completely depend on the local businesses in Frederick. Simply put, more money spent with local businesses stays here, about 68%, where much less money spent with national chains stays in the area, only about 14%. And money that's spent online, well, that simply leaves us forever. To us at RelyLocal, supporting local businesses doesn't stop with the economy. It is all about creating a stable and vibrant community. Frederick businesses create jobs, the tax revenue for schools, parks, and road systems, while offering diversity in the marketplace with unique products and services not found in those big box stores or chain restaurants. And not to mention, these local businesses are owned by the very people who sponsor our Little Leagues, and they donate to the local charities and volunteer for our community events. They give back to the community in countless ways. You rely on them, but can they rely on you? Did you know that every dollar you spend with a Frederick business stimulates our local economy? And you don't have to break the piggy bank to support local businesses. Refocusing just $20 of your current spending toward local businesses instead of online, national chains, or big box merchants can have a major impact on our community. And folks, we support local businesses in the area with a lot of different things. It's a very comprehensive package of PR, exposure, marketing, and social media. And today we have one of our members with us. We have Conrad Weaver of Conjo Studios. He is a professional video producer and an award-winning video producer. And we're gonna talk here with Conrad about a lot of the things that he's doing with his company. So Conrad, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. You're a fairly new member to RelyLocal. And your talent is immense, and a lot of the things that I've seen so far, people need to know about Conjo Studios and what Conrad Weaver is all about. So why don't we give them some insight into your professional background and how you got started in the video production arena, and also and how you got started, how your company got started.
Okay, sure. I have to go back to my childhood. Actually, I grew up with a camera in my hand. I've been a photographer all my life and never thought about using it as a professional career. Growing up, I was taking pictures of everything, and my family would be like, "What are you doing?"
I take pictures too.
I'm just having fun, taking pictures. Yeah. And it was about 10 years ago I moved here to Frederick, and took a job with a local church, and I was a media producer for Frederick Christian Fellowship Church.
Wow.
And I was on staff there, and there I discovered video. We started doing video, and I discovered
movement.
I really
Music.
enjoy it. Yeah, moving pictures, and
exactly.
I discovered that I really enjoy it, and discovered that I'm pretty good at it. And from that, from my experience there, I started taking on these little side gigs. And my very first paid side gig in video production was at the 2004 presidential inauguration.
Wow, that's a pretty awesome side gig.
It was really awesome. Yeah, it was kind of behind-the-scenes video of some of the security detail that was happening at the parade route and the presidential balls.
Wow, that's
and so I had all access to the presidential balls, and it was so much fun.
Now, how did you get that? Did they seek out local people in the
Actually, a friend of mine worked for a security firm here in Frederick, and he's their CFO, and he knew the work I did, and he just reached out to me and said, "Hey, why don't you come with us and shoot some video for us?"
That's great. And when you're good at something, people tend to see it, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's awesome."
That has opened the doors for me. That has led to other clients, major clients in D.C. And I was still working full time for the church at that time. Right. And in 2006, I officially registered my company, Conjo Studios LLC, and still was working full-time for the church. And then in 2008, after a lot of just sweat and sleepless nights, I decided to take the plunge and go full-time on my own, working full-time for Conjo Studios. And that's what I've been doing.
So you're in your 4th year, or
I'm in
you're
my
heading
4th
into
year,
your
yes.
5th? Or?
Heading into my 5th year.
Wow,
and so
that's
we're really
exciting.
excited, and it's really taken off in a lot of ways. I haven't looked back. It's, working for somebody, has its perks because you get a regular paycheck.
Sure.
Working for yourself, is a challenge because
Woo-hoo,
it's all on me.
entrepreneurs.
It's all on me. But that's where that's what really stimulates me and gets me going. Is being an entrepreneur, making it happen, finding the business
and doing the good work that keeps you in business,
doing the good
and the customer service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's one thing that I really focus on, is doing an excellent job. My motto is, I'll make you look good.
Yeah, I saw that on your website. Yeah, and that's true. That you do.
Came out of one of my first clients. It was CEO of a large company down in D.C., and we were shooting some video for her, and she was like, "Conrad, you just got to make me look good." And I said,
and that stuck with you.
And I said, "You know what? I promise I'll make you look good."
That's great.
And that has stuck. And I kept saying that over and over again to clients. So I thought, you know what? That's just my motto. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I make people look good. And so that's what I have done, and that's what I plan to do in the future.
That's great. That's great. And gosh, so you're going into your 5th year. That's sort of a landmark year in itself, just because, when you start, it's like 5 years,
Yep. And just to kind of bring it up currently, a year ago, I moved my office to downtown Frederick. Mm-hmm. So I was working out of my home office for the first number of years.
Right.
And
which
had
an opportunity,
which a lot of people do, which is great. Yes, it was great. Sure. Mm-hmm. And I had an opportunity to move downtown Frederick, and it's been fantastic to be down there. The exposure I'm getting down there is great. And just to be able to make new connections with businesses and other opportunities in Frederick has been very good for me.
Right. Well, Conrad, before we go into a break, I want to just kind of go into some of the overall services that Conjo Studios provides.
Sure. We provide professional video services. A lot of companies are looking for a promotional video for their website. And so I developed those products for companies. I don't do weddings and birthday parties and things like that, although I could, and there are people who do very well with that. I have chosen not to do that. I do the marketing-based videos.
And with YouTube, I would imagine that is
it's everywhere.
Huge.
Right, it's everywhere. And I do some training.
Everybody needs little snippet videos or elaborate videos.
And some of the videos I've done training videos for national organizations. I did a whole series of safety videos for a farming organization in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. And so it's not only the short YouTube videos, but also the long play DVD projects that I work on.
Right. And when we get back, I know we're going to be talking about this awesome video production documentary that you're working on, and you actually have won an award for it as well. And, that's the Great American Wheat Harvest. Yes. So we'll talk about that when we get back. But folks, from Gettysburg to Brunswick and Hagerstown to Mount Airy, may the source be with you. This is Caressa Flannery. We'll be right back.
Emerson once said, "People only see what they are prepared to see." That's why Thermont Eye Care understands that vision is more than just seeing. It is providing you with professional vision solutions from eyewear to contacts that will help you see better and enhance how people see you. Thermont Eye Care is passionate about providing for all of your vision needs with a caring attitude and a dedicated commitment to serving those who want the best. Conveniently located on the square in Thermont, Maryland. Thermont Eye Care can help you save time and money. Tired of driving all over just to find the right vision care center that can fit your busy schedule? Dr. Molly Karen is a board-certified optometrist with years of experience who understands that your eyesight is a precious gift. See the best. Thermont Eye Care. Located at number 2 East Main Street in downtown Thermont. Walk in or call area code 301-271-0554 for an appointment today. That number again, 301-271-0554.
Do you enjoy fine Asian cuisine? And if so, are you curious where you can find great sushi in northern Frederick County? Simply Asia has everything you desire and more. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or just hanging out with friends, Simply Asia is the most exciting restaurant in the area. Their mouth-watering Mandarin orange chicken is a culinary delight. Their expert sushi chefs can make everything from California roll to their specialty, Maryland crab roll. Enjoy Chinese, Thai, and Japanese Asian fusion cooking at its finest. Simply Asia uses high-quality traditional recipes, spices, and sauces with no MSG, low oil, and low fat, all at an affordable low price. Simply Asia, not just a restaurant, but a bistro. Simply Asia is located at 120 Frederick Road in Thurmont. The place to find the succulent flavors of the East are North Frederick County, at Simply Asia Pan Asian Bistro. For more info, call 301-271-2857. That's 301-271-2857.
Flannery, the host of the RelyLocal Business Spotlight. And I just want to remind everyone that you can go to Facebook and like both the Source Radio Network as well as RelyLocal Frederick, Maryland. And we are here with Conrad Weaver of Conjo Studios. He is a professional video producer, and he also is on Facebook. You can find Conjo Studios on Facebook. Become a fan of all of those pages, and you will get lots of really great information. But Conrad, when we left the last segment, we were talking a little bit about your services, but we mentioned, the Great American Wheat Harvest,
yes,
which is this documentary that you're working on right now. So why don't you give us a little bit of information about how that came to be?
Absolutely. Well, 2 years ago, I was actually following a blog called the High Plains Journal All Aboard Harvest. And it's a blog produced by...
How did you find that?
Well, I'm always interested in agriculture because I grew up on a dairy farm in Ohio. And so I have ag in my blood. Right. And so every time I drive up 15, I see these farms and I see the guys out in the tractors. And it brings me back to my childhood. And it's like, I want to go back there.
Yeah.
And so I started following this blog that is written by wheat harvesters in the Midwest. And the one day I was reading the blog, and my wife was looking over my shoulder, and she was like, "You should produce a documentary about that." And I said, "That's a fantastic idea." Well,
you get to credit your wife for this
idea. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And she hears it every time.
She probably loves that.
Whenever I go away to travel, I remind her, "Well, it was your idea."
Yeah, exactly.
So that's been fun. But anyway, that was 2 years ago.
Wow.
And so I started down this path of looking into of telling the story about wheat harvesters and what they do. And basically what happens is farmers in the Midwest have these huge farms, and they can't afford a $500,000 combine to cut wheat for 1 week out of the year. Right. So they hire these custom harvesters who have all the equipment. They have combines and trucks and tractors and grain carts and RVs. And these custom harvesters load up their families and load up their people and their supplies and their equipment and go to Texas, where the wheat ripens first, and they harvest the wheat in Texas, and then as they're finished there, they move up into Oklahoma, into Kansas, and Nebraska, and all the way north to Montana. And they live in their RVs. They travel on the roads and harvest millions of acres of wheat for the U.S. farmers.
Wow! It's
a fascinating lifestyle. It's a fascinating story. These people are amazing. And so I'm in the process of producing a documentary called The Great American Wheat Harvest that is telling that story. And it's going to help tell the story of how our bread gets from the field to the table. And really,
cool.
Where does our food come from? It's going to help tell that link of, how grain gets, as it grows in the field, then is harvested, how it gets harvested, and then gets to our tables.
Sure. Now, is that going to be picked up by a station, like an agricultural type station?
Well, actually, right now, I have a friend who is very well connected to Discovery Channel and PBS. He's already talked to Discovery Channel about it, and they've expressed some interest.
I have some connections there, too.
So we're going to be pitching it to all the major networks.
Wow.
We also have a theater in Nebraska who would love to have a debut there for a premiere. And so they've already kind of mark their calendars for spring of 2014 to have a premiere
that's so
for the film there.
exciting.
So and to kind of bring you current, I have a team in Montana who is my PR and marketing team, and they're my fundraising team.
Gotcha.
They focus exclusively on agriculture, and they are very well connected in the ag industry around the country. And so they are raising quite a substantial budget for this film. We have about a $3 million budget. And so they're raising money for us to produce this film. And what my plan is next year to be out in the Midwest from early spring till September,
Just filming.
following the harvest
following them and filming.
producing this film. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you won an award for like a portion of this documentary?
Yes, last summer, I took my family, I loaded them up in an RV, and we went out west for 3 weeks, and we shot a trailer for this documentary.
So it was for the
Basically,
trailer where you
it was-
won the
right.
award. Okay.
And so we produced about a 5-minute promotional video talking about what we're going to be doing with the film, and that trailer won a Silver Telly Award.
That's awesome.
Telly Awards are given to people and companies all over the U.S., video production companies, for excellence in video production. And a Silver Telly is like the top tier award, which I've won bronze Tellys before, but a silver is very hard to win. And we were
So that's
so
the-
happy.
that's the high end,
That's
the
the
top
high end,
tier.
yeah, top tier
Wow.
award. So we were very happy to win that. I mean, other
That's so
people
exciting, and you're right here in Frederick County.
Yeah, it is. Other
really
people
awesome.
who win silver Tellys are like NBC and CBS,
Yeah, I would imagine.
major organizations. So we
Wow.
were just very thrilled to win a silver.
And you're a company that's going in its 5th year,
Right here in
won
Frederick
an
County.
award. That's exceptional.
Yep,
That's
yep.
really awesome. So with your emphasis on agriculture and, this extensive knowledge that I'm sure that you have, growing up on a
Right.
farm and then, now doing this whole documentary
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot, you are in development with another project that's actually here for the
Right here
local
locally.
area.
Absolutely.
Right, and you're dealing with, I know, the Frederick County Office of Economic Development,
Right.
and you're working on getting some funding and whatnot. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that? And we're going to be going to a break soon, but we'll
Sure.
definitely pick
well,
up with that.
I'll back up a little bit. About a year ago, I started thinking about my company, and having done several projects in agriculture, I started thinking, do I need to narrow my focus for my company to have a niche have a niche market and be an expert in one particular area? And the more things I did with agriculture, the more I realized that's my focus.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the process of turning my company to be a 100% focus on agriculture. And so out of that came this idea of producing what I call a hyper-local television production about farming and agriculture right here in Frederick County. I mean, as we know, we drive up and down the roads here. There's farms everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And agriculture is a huge
rich
part of
with
our economy
agriculture.
here in Frederick County and in the state of Maryland. And so we're planning on putting together a television production and highlighting farming and agriculture right here in Frederick.
That's so exciting, and I'm just even tickled too because you asked RelyLocal to be a part of it and be a strategic partner to help these farmers and get them some PR and exposure. So that's really great. We're going to talk more about that when we get back from the break, but just want to remind everyone again that we are on Facebook, and also if you have any feedback whatsoever having to do with the RelyLocal Spotlight, send us an email. Any questions or interview suggestions can go to rlf@wthu.org, or you can call us at 301-637-6736. This is Caressa Flannery. We'll be right back.
3 miles of cars laying on their horns, falling on deaf ears of corn, lined up behind me like a big parade.
Right.
Late to work, road rage jerks shouting up.
I'm hungry.
Me too.
I know. Let's get sushi.
Sushi? No, I want seafood.
You always get to choose.
True, but I think getting seafood would be better than getting sushi. After all, they both come from the same place.
But sushi isn't just food, it's art.
I'm really hungry. I don't care what it looks like.
Ladies, why not go to the Blue Ocean? They have both seafood and sushi, so you'll both be happy.
Really?
Yes, Blue Ocean is the most unique restaurant in Frederick, Located at 7th and Mater, Blue Ocean is open for lunch and closes late. Blue Ocean has a great menu to choose from. They've got appetizers, they've got lobster, live and hot steamed crabs, platters, seafood combinations, and of course their sushi is out of this world.
That sounds great. Let's go to the Blue Ocean.
Your IT and computer situation is too important to hand over to just anyone. Thankfully, there's Swift Systems Incorporated. Call 301-682-5100 or online at swiftsystems.com. Your true technology partner is right here in Central Maryland. Swift Systems Incorporated.
You are listening to the Rely Local Business Spotlight. This is Caressa Flannery, your host, and we want to jump right back in with Conrad Weaver from Conjo Studios. And Conrad, we were talking a little bit about your American Farm Network program, or
Yes.
the thing that you're working on right now, the big thing in Frederick County with the Economic Development Office. So let's talk a little bit more about that and where things are and where you're headed with it and how people can get involved.
Well, it's a really exciting thing that we're working on and what we want to do with what we're calling the American Farm is tell the stories of American farmers and specifically Frederick County farmers and people involved in agriculture right here in Frederick County, because so many of us really don't know what a farmer does and how they do it or why they do it. I mean, my kids, we're driving up and down the highway and they see big round bales, they call them dinosaur turds.
Nice.
Oh, Dad, look, the dinosaurs have been out. And it's like, yeah, do you know what that is? Well, not really. And most people probably don't know what the big round bales are for.
Right.
And so what we want to do with this program is let our people know, let local people know what a farmer does, why he does it, and how he does it.
And how it affects them.
And
too,
how it affects them.
I mean, they're eating food.
Exactly.
These farmers are preparing.
Many of our grocery stores, our restaurants, that they have
growing, I should say.
that they have food, and some of them you get food from the local farmers.
Right.
In fact, just a couple of days ago, I met with a business downtown, one of the breweries, and I met with a farmer who's growing the grain for the brewery for them to make beer.
That's so cool. For
And
the
so,
beer that we drink.
For the beer that we
It
drink,
starts
it's
with a little
grown
grain.
right here in Frederick County.
Interesting.
And it was just a really amazing connection, and we're going to tell that story. We're going to go out to the farmer's field, and we're going to walk through the grain fields, walk through the barley, and he's going to show us how it gets turned into beer.
That is really cool.
I mean, right here in
I know
Frederick
people
County.
will love that, and they'll want to tune in. Like, what are they going to talk about this time?
Absolutely. And so it's going to be different every time. We're going to focus. We told the story early on about a young couple who's starting out as dairy farmers.
Right.
21 years old, working for Dad's farm. Now they're starting their own. And dairy is a really tough market right now.
I would imagine.
And, they have to buy all these cows. They have to have land. They have to have a barn to milk them in.
Yeah.
And, all these investments.
It's a major production.
It's a major production. And people don't understand that. And that's what we want to help do. We want to kind of be we're not doing dirty jobs, but we want to kind of have that feel for the show.
Right.
Getting in there, finding out what they do, how they do it. We're going to have some hosts who are going to be on camera to kind of guide the conversation and guide the interviews. And this is going to be a fun, entertaining show. And
I'm excited for you and for the whole thing. I think it's going to be awesome for Frederick County. First of all, I mean, Frederick County is so, like you said, rich with farming and agriculture. I mean, we have the Great Frederick Fair. It's all that started out, being all about education with our agriculture, and it's turned into a lot of other things too. But I mean, it's such a wonderful area to start this type of programming, network.
And I was so excited to have Frederick County come on board just as really helping to promote this idea. I went and talked to several people, Helen Riddle, and talked to Colby Ferguson there, and they were so thrilled about this, and actually helped us put together a luncheon to bring together some of the key players in agriculture. Yeah. And we presented this a couple of weeks ago, and there was so much excitement in the room.
And it was very well received, and you were in the paper about it, and I mean, it's a really exciting project, I think, to be involved
And my
in.
ultimate goal is not only to do it here in Frederick County, but my goal is to expand this into other counties.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
To Washington County,
right.
Over to the Eastern Shore, because there's agriculture all across Maryland.
Right. And then beyond that, take it to a national level
absolutely.
where you can actually talk about all the farming and
absolutely.
how various things that are out there, the very things that we put on our table that a lot of people don't realize, that started
right.
on a farm
exactly.
somewhere.
Yeah, and so many
exciting.
people I know there's been a lot of television movies and things that have been made that kind of put down farmers and what they do to the land, but there's no one who cares more about the environment. There's no one who cares more about the land than American farmers.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because their very livelihood depends on the soil. And
right.
so they're the first line of defense about protecting the bay, about doing all these things to help the environment.
Sure.
They're the first ones there that will say, I care about what I put in my soil.
Oh, and
because
they're definitely looking into green alternatives and things like that, to sort of demystify that whole thing out there
right.
that people
And that's part of what we want to do with this program is also help take some of the mystery out of that.
Yeah.
And to really show that the farmers do care and what they do and what they're providing a quality product for us to consume.
Right.
And again, it's going to be hyper local. It's going to be local channels, local networks. And that's
right.
why we bought the website AmericanFarmNetwork.com.
Yeah.
That we
I'm
can
excited
take
for
all
you.
these different programs on there.
I think it's going to be great. And, so obviously something of this magnitude, because to me, it sounds like it would be big. You're starting here
right.
locally, but it's going to be bigger. So, you obviously need funding.
Absolutely.
You need sponsors. You
yep.
need, people to grab a hold of this idea and say, hey, you know what, this is awesome. Yep. This is something we want to be a part of. So what things and what ways, can businesses and individuals and farmers and anybody who is attached to this, how can they get involved?
Sure, they can get involved simply by contacting us at American Farm Network, and we'll have a whole package of information that we can send out that has sponsorship information from just a general sponsor to actually buying television ads that are going to air with the program.
Right.
So you can buy web ads, you can buy banner ads for the websites, you can buy a television spot that'll air with the program, or you can be a general sponsor to help fund this, because obviously this doesn't happen for free.
Right.
And so far we've produced some things that it just kind of come out of my pocket, but my pockets are just my pockets, and we need other people to come on board with us, to partner with us, to really help make this happen.
Yeah, I already know that there, you've generated some interest, and I'm sure you're not going to have any, issues with getting, at least some of those initial, sponsors to come on board to help this project get off the ground. I think that you're going to start to see other businesses
sure.
beyond that who maybe don't know exactly what it's all about right now, and they're going to, definitely jump on board. So it's an exciting time for you. I'm really, really so excited myself to have RelyLocal be a part of it. But before we're actually getting ready to wrap up here. Isn't that crazy? It goes so fast. But before we do that, I want to make sure that everyone out there listening has the opportunity to know how to get a hold of Conrad Weaver and Conjo Studios. And if they want any information about this American Farm Network and how to get involved, we want to make sure they have all that info.
Sure. They can visit the website conjostudios.com at CONJO Studios.com. And all my contact information is on the website. They can also go to AmericanFarmNetwork.com, and where our contact information is there. So AmericanFarmNetwork.com is where you can get information about, or there you can contact me as well. Or you can send me an email at info@conjostudios.com.
Very cool. And then, of course, you are on Facebook. So as things, come into progression, I'm sure you're going to be posting things. Yeah, and you've got a page for the American Farm Network on there as well, so people can hook up with that. So that's really exciting. Well, Conrad, gosh, we're all done. It's crazy, isn't it? So, I want to thank you for taking the time to come in today and talk to us about, your company and all the successes that you've had and the things that are yet to come, because the best is always yet to come.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And folks, I'm going to be signing off here, but I want to make sure that you stay tuned for our next program, the Bobby Lycus Car Clinic, sponsored by RelyLocal member Roddy Creek Automotive. This is Caressa Flannery. Thank you for listening to the RelyLocal Business Spotlight.
I love to work at nothing all day, and I've been taking care of business every day, taking care of business.
Thanks for tuning in to Rely Local Frederick's Business Radio Spotlight right here on AM 1450, The Source. Heard Saturdays at 1:30 p.m., Rely Local Frederick's Business Radio Spotlight is a movement, a campaign to take us back to what makes America great. Businesses locally owned and operated by you and your neighbors. Thanks for spending your valuable time today with us.